Shalom, shalom. First thing I want to do is give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Shalom Yahweh Shai, Shalom Kakadash, Devon to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations, you brothers pushing this word with truth, sincerity, with charity. Alright, so really through the spirit, it's kind of inspired by I was listening to the Apostle Bar's video, and basically explaining how we gotta pretty much examine ourselves, man. It was crazy because me and another brother was talking about this last night, and he just ran across the video, and but it's kind of through the spirit because we really, like the scriptures say, examine yourself whether you be in the faith or not, and the big thing of examining ourselves is not being a hypocrite. All right, so the things that we tell Israel to do, we also have to do them ourselves. Don't put a burden on. Basically, my thing is, if I know I'm dealing with something, and I know I'm working on something trying to, I'm not gonna tell somebody or chastise somebody and get on them and buckle down on them on something that I'm struggling with myself. What I would say is, brother, I deal with that too. We need to work on that because I know what you're going through because I had the same problem. But I'm not gonna sit there and curse a brother out and come down hard, and when I'm doing the same shit, when I had the same problem, you know what I mean? Which is really making you a hypocrite, and it's truth, that's really what you don't want to do is become a hypocrite. All right. So this is I'm gonna start at Matthew 23. I'm gonna start at 1. Then spake Yahweh Shai to the multitude, to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. All right. So it's a observe and do it. All right. It's a, hold on one second. All right. It said observe and do it. Right. But do not ye after their work, for they say and do not. Right. So they'll sit there and tell you to do something. All right. That's like the Christian folks, right? They'll sit there and tell you to do something that they don't do themselves. That's being a hypocrite. You putting a burden, on a matter of fact, this next scripture. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Right. So here it is. You putting burdens on people that you won't do yourself. All right. And we got to really watch the advice, that we give brothers and what we do, because, matter of fact, all right. All right. This is because we sitting there telling and telling brothers in Israel to live and do certain things, or to handle a certain situation better. And a lot of times after you give a brother counsel on something, the Lord will put you in that same situation to see how you is gonna deal with that situation. All right. So you can't never, you always have to make sure, we always have to make sure that not only the counsel we giving out is sound, but the counsel that we also giving out, we practice it ourselves, and we're not being hypocrites. All right. I'm not gonna tell a brother he drink too much, or a brother, you do this too much, and I do it my damn self. You know, I be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? That what you would call be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Or telling a brother to be hard on a certain situation, and yourself is not being that same. You're not holding that same standard to yourself. All right. You know, and then, like I said earlier, you'll find yourself in little situations because, you know, because you're not taking the own advice that you gave out. Like the scriptures say, is one that is profitable to others, but is not profitable unto himself. So you giving advice and giving sound doctrine and sound advice, but you yourself, us, whoever is saying, is not taking that advice. You know, and that's a real dangerous thing that we don't want to do in this truth. All right, because you can find yourself on the hot seat. All right. So this is Luke 6:37. It says, "Judge not, and ye shall not be judged." Matter of fact, that's not the one I want. All right, this is Matthew 7:1. "Judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again." So basically, you can't tell somebody to do something that you're not doing yourself. All right, and then, you know, when it's time for you, because the Lord's gonna put you in that same situation. All right, or you may find yourself in that same situation if you're not already solid in that situation. You know, and even if you are, the Lord will still try you. You know what I mean? Because we gotta make sure that we practicing what we preach. That we just not running our mouth, like the scripture say, being not being hearers of the word, but doers also. You know, it says and why, and this is gonna go into that, right? In verse 3, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye? And a mote is like a beam or a stick, you know what I mean, if I'm not mistaken. But considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye. So you worrying about the brother got a little stick, he got a little something in his eye, the whole time you got a big ass log hanging out of yours. So you sitting there worried about what he got in his, but really, when you look in the mirror, that's how you could tell whether you got a beam, a mote, where you got something that you got in your eye that you need to fix. When you look yourself in the mirror, when we look ourselves in the mirror, and that's when we see our imperfections and the things that we need to work on. And like America teach you to embrace your imperfections, but your imperfections is what you use to become better. All right, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at the things that we know that we need to work on, and we pray to Yahweh Shema Shai to help us, and that's how you build. That's how you get built up on your imperfections. All right, that's how you get built up on from your imperfections. All right. It says, or how would thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold a beam in thine own eye, right? And then it says, thou hypocrite, right? So because you don't want to sit there and be telling the brother something that you're not doing yourself. All right, because then you will become a hypocrite. And this is all going into looking ourselves in the mirror and making sure that we're doing the things necessary for Yahweh Shema Shai. That we're putting off the flesh, that we're ourselves are practicing what we preach. All right. Hey, like the scripture say, know ye not your own selves. All right. So we know not only do we know. All right. Not only do we know, the Spirit is also telling us, because that's just the way it go. All right. The scriptures say the Most High speaketh once, yet twice, and man perceiveth not. All right. All right. It said, "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye." So we have to first work on ourselves and certain things. We can't come down on the brother or even even get on somebody. You know what I mean? And come down on them hard when we ourselves are dealing with something. All right. Now, like I say, if I'm dealing with something, I would say, "Hey, look, brother, I understand what you're going through, because me, myself, I go through that. We got to do better." You know what I'm saying? We got to do better, because it's not just the thing that you dealing with. I'm dealing with it myself. So I'm not going to say, "Hey, look, brother, I'm not going to say, "Look, brother, you full of shit. God damn it, you could have reacted better. You could have this and that. Yeah, it would have been better." But when you dealing with something, that makes it more of a humbling counsel than just coming down hard when you dealing with something yourself. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm just in it right there. It was just something that hit my spirit, because it's something that me personally, I try to, because I got cut on it, like right at camp. I was at camp and I was talking, and the brother Mathiah, he cut me right there, man. This was some years ago. He said, "How you gonna sit there and tell a brother something and you just did XYZ?" So I know, and I'm saying this by advice, because me myself, I once done it. And I try not to do that, through the spirit. I look myself and try to look myself in the mirror and see, what am I doing before I even give advice. You pray to the Lord before I even go into a certain particular situation, to see if I'm even dealing with a certain situation, because I don't want to end up a hypocrite. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing, it's embarrassing as fuck. And ever since that day, I always had it at the front of my mind. Let me make sure I'm doing what I need to do before I sit there and tell a brother something, because he was right. And I felt like shit that I sit there and cuss the brother out. I kind of was a little rough with the brother, and me myself was guilty of what I was getting on this brother about. And after that day, it hit me hard, man. And I'm saying this by experience. It's not something that me myself, I'm not exempt from this. Look, I'm in the flesh too. I make mistakes too. But when we self-examine ourselves, that's how you cut back on those mistakes. All right. So with that, I just hope it's edifying, and just want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostle and elders, great millstone, and salutations, you brothers pushing this word with truth, sincerity, and charity. Shalom and the Bible.